was a Sunday morning when Mommy and Daddy went to work. My brother and I stayed home while watching television. Later in the evening, my mother and dad came back from work while quarreling. My brother and I did not know why Mommy and Dad were quarreling. The following day, in the morning, Mommy and Daddy came out from their room while fighting. My brother and I did not know why Mommy and Dad were fighting. Daddy locked us in our room and threw Mommy and her properties out of the house, telling her in his loud voice not to come back in his house again. Mommy's appearance looked like she was battered. Since we had been locked in our room, we couldn't tell her but screamed through the window calling Mommy. By the end of the day, the situation had stabilized and Daddy questioned us not to talk to our Mommy again. If one phone, he or she will be beaten, which stated a state of fear in us. A few months later, Daddy bought a woman and told us that she's our aunt, who pretended to love us only when our dad was around. But when our dad was away, she used to starve us and gave us corporal punishments. Even though our dad was around, we couldn't tell him because of the fear we had that we would be beaten or punished by our aunt. Unfortunately, the neighbors knew what was going on, so they decided to go to report to the chairperson, who later came at home and witnessed what we were going through. He found only our aunt around and talked with her for some time. He left a letter calling both Daddy and Auntie. Early in the morning the next day, Daddy and Auntie went to the chairperson. We did not know what happened next, but everything started changing. Our aunt stopped starving us and giving us corporal punishments, and we were allowed to see and talk to our Mommy again.
Now there are 3 rules of what to do if you were being abused or you were seeing
It can be
abuse,
overwhelming
okay?
having to talk about such a difficult subject, but I let them know at the beginning that it was a very safe environment and it was good for me. I love being open and saying that it's okay to feel overwhelmed, it's okay to feel sad.
It has been very interesting to talk to these young people and their ideas about what can be done, and all of them were in agreement that more needs to be done in their living environment, but that it also has to start with them and their families.
At one point, my dad became so violent and he almost killed my mom. So I became a defense to my mom.
I love creating awareness. I was once a violence witness to my parents, and I was emotionally affected as a child, but I was able to journey through it, and I've been able to recover. I'm leading a happier life, so I decided to use my story to impact other children or any other young adults, even teenagers, to go through the same, so that we can have healthy, happy families in the future and probably impact the world at large.
When children are violated, they get traumatized. They can mentally get affected. They get mental instabilities. Fear is installed into them. They get self-isolation. They undermine themselves. They lose self-esteem. They don't believe in themselves, and they can never speak out on their own for themselves, and you will never know what's bothering them.
No one likes to talk about abuse. Many of abuse victims are suffering in silence, and we can only really fight that by making more and more people aware of that. You know, if we keep quiet about it, it will continue, and this is really, really terrible. So what do we do if we are not safe? We report, right? Who do we report to? The next question was also, what kind of community would you wish for? And all children or all teenagers were in unison over this question. And they said we would wish for ourselves a peaceful, a respectful, and an understanding community. And I think this goes with the question of raising awareness about abuse. Children are longing for a peaceful environment, which is not always there. We can only start with ourselves in our own communities, and we can only start by making more and more people aware of what needs to be done to speak up, what needs to be done to stop abuse, and what needs to be done to make communities better.